Here we are. I feel like I'm gonna be a little bit tipsy for this episode. God help us all. I don't know if I told you this, but I started drinking Conor McGregor's whiskey.
You did tell me this. I feel like you've told me this like 10 times, but it's okay.
I can't. I'm telling you, I'm losing it. I'm like a drunk. I don't know what you expect from me, but
That's what happens when you stay with your family for months.
I know exactly. I know. I'm starting to lose it, but no, it's pretty good. And it's so good that I've almost cleared an entire bottle in like 8 days. So I don't know like at what point we call the Betty Ford Center, but I think we're getting close.
We're getting close.
We are. And then I like I'm obviously at my family home, and my youngest sister, who's, God, how old is she now? 14, 15. She's like very into her hair. And so she's teaching me how to like heal my curls. It's like Jesus. She's like the Jesus of curls, is what my sister is.
Wow. Look at
She's
that.
saving me. And so I've been like doing all this stuff. And I have like this. We've surpassed Puerto Rican. Like now it's like I would describe it almost as like Venezuelan hair.
Wow.
Yeah. And the only reason I'm saying that is because I was watching a documentary on Colombian hookers and drug dealers the other day. And there was a girl that came over from Venezuela to work at a sex club, and she had incredible, like, big curly hair. And I feel like between like my hair and my snakeskin dress, I'm like channeling her vibe right now. So
They
yeah.
could use you for the Scarface reboot.
Oh my God, yes, exactly. Yes, Venezuelan hooker is my current aesthetic, and that's okay. I'm okay with that. By the way, I ordered my webcam the other day.
Nice.
Yeah, I had my mother order it. God help us all. And because I want to start interviewing, for the UFC stuff, I want to start interviewing fighters and also comics for this show. So I needed a legit webcam. But I'm sure when everybody finds that out, they think it's going to be like the precursor to some type of like, adult only show, which it's not.
100 nerds are crossing their fingers right now.
Yeah.
OnlyFans, OnlyFans, OnlyFans.
Meanwhile, my poor parents, I had to like assure, they're like, what do you need a webcam for? I'm like, I just so I can interview people. Like, everybody calm down. I'm not doing anything indecent. I mean, honestly. I mean, I know I put myself out there in a certain way, but like when people say stuff like that to me, I'm like, do you realize I don't even allow people to wear their shoes in my apartment? Like, you think I'm just letting anybody in my vagina? Like, it's like the Magic Kingdom. Like, all are welcome. It's a happy place. No. I mean, come on. That's not happening.
You're a shoes off person?
You mean like when people come to my house?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, especially because in LA, where it never rains, like the streets are so disgusting and dirty.
So dirty. So
Ugh.
dirty.
I don't want people bringing that. Listen, when I babysat your chihuahua, I used to wipe his feet every time he came in my house.
Aww.
Yeah, which he was not happy about. But I'm like, listen, dude, like we need to keep, this is like a spotless house, okay? I don't want like
So yeah, I respect it. I grew up in a family that did no shoes.
Yeah.
But my way of rebelling is to do shoes.
To do shoes in the house. Yeah.
Oh yeah, all day.
I grew up in a house where like we couldn't wear shoes on the second floor. Like that was against the rules. Like shoes on the first floor was okay, but shoes up where we sleep was like no bueno.
That's a good compromise.
Yeah. So that was like the whole thing. But by the way, I totally forgot to tell you this, but today I had to take a 2-hour sexual harassment course for work.
Whoa.
Which was like, they hoodwinked me. They said it was supposed to be 60 minutes. And then halfway through the video, they're like, you've been specifically chosen by your employer to do this twice through. And I was like, okay, what are they trying to tell me here? Like, why do I have to take this a second time? But I did. My course was 2 hours. And
Have you been grabbing some of the interns' asses?
No. I mean, no, I'm like, yeah, no, I would never do that. But I definitely say inappropriate things in the workplace. I mean, somebody's got to spice it up, like somebody's got to make it fun. That's how I look at it. Like I'm not trying to make anybody uncomfortable. I'm just trying to bring some pizzazz to the atmosphere.
Do you feel like you are bringing pizzazz to the atmosphere?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Wow. I mean, hello, come on, you know me. But I'm like I basically like, for me, I feel like we're not working right now, but like I am to my staff Stifler's mom because I'm like sexual and I wear tight dresses and I, high heels around the office. But then I also, like I make sure everybody's fed. I try to make the office look nice. Like I'm like, making sure everybody's taken care of. So there's like this weird dichotomy of being like Martha Stewart and then Stifler's mom.
I
So
could see that.
yeah, that's very
Hmm.
much who I am. But yeah, so I had to take this sexual harassment course. At my current company, it's like, like obviously we want everybody to feel comfortable. But it's like a startup. So it's like we kind of like, you also sort of make your own rules in a way. But before I was at influential, I don't know if I can say that on camera. Oh well. I was at SNY, Sportsnet New York, which is like a child company of NBC Universal. So there, it's corporate. So it's like there's a ton of rules. And
Hmm.
I would break as many as I could when I was there.
Smart.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was the newsroom coordinator at Sportsnet New York. And I can't tell you how many times my boss, Brad, would call me in and be like, what were you thinking? Like, because you know what would happen was every day I would have to send out the daily memo, like company wide. It was like a production memo, right?
Hmm.
And I took it upon myself to make it a little more exciting. So I would always either we would do like trivia or I would do like a news story or like a funny joke, in the memo. And I would say probably about, 2 dozen times my funny story got me in trouble and, got me in
Well,
my
they
boss's
have the
office.
same conversations with Keith Hernandez, so don't worry.
Oh my God. Yeah, I was there for that too. Yeah. I mean, if I were on air, I would have made Keith Hernandez look like a cakewalk, honestly. I mean, yeah, like people were upset. I think one time he said like something about, I think I could say this now since I don't work there. It was like in the Daily News. He said, or the New York Post, he said something about like someone's tits being lit. And everybody was like, they were all up in arms, and I'm like, is that a bad thing? Because I would say that like in the break room, like I don't give a like, please,
Hmm.
if they ever had me mic'd up all the time, like the amount of lawsuits we would have racked up because of me, it's a disaster. But I don't know, like that's why I have to be a comic and I don't belong in corporate because I could never exist in that kind of atmosphere. Like I need to have
Hmm.
fun and I want other people to have fun and I don't play by the rules. I mean, I think by now we know that. So
I'm the opposite.
yeah.
I'm
Oh,
strict.
you
I'm
said the other day
strict
you're a
by the
Boy
rules.
Scout.
Yeah, yeah, I am. 100%. Not quite a whistleblower. If you want to have fun, I'll let you have your fun.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna be reserved. That's just me.
Well, you're not a rule breaker.
No.
I am a rule breaker. Like I want to
Well,
just.
I have stolen a Twix bar from a from like a Walmart. I had smoked weed in New York where it's very illegal in New York for some reason. Shit like that.
Oh my God, you remind me of the guy from Dazed and Confused who's like we need to have a good, worthwhile, visceral experience when we're in high school. Like you remind me of that guy. Like I feel like, whereas
Oh,
I'm
and then there
like,
was the whole jumping the turnstile incident at in the train system in L.A.
oh,
You remember
that I
that?
forgot. Yeah, you bucked the system. I remember that. Yeah, you tried to not pay for a train ticket, which again is sort of like low level crime, but it
Yeah,
was
yeah. Well,
it was
not just
good.
once. I was doing it on a daily basis, and they finally caught me.
Well, yeah, I mean, fuck them, dude. They got more money than God, the city of LA. Like, how dare
Yeah,
they
they don't need my $2.
push down, yeah, on the citizens, like, as if we don't have enough going on, honestly. Um, I remember, like, are you an Entourage fan?
Yeah, yeah. I didn't want to be for a long time. Grew up with it being kind of the douchey show.
Right.
Then I gave it a watch, and I fell in love. I've probably watched the show full like 3 times.
I see. I didn't even know that about you. It's funny you say that because I'm the same way. Like I was a reluctant fan. Like I'm like, oh, this is like you said, it was so douchey. It's like frat
Hmm.
bro. I don't want to play into this. And then when I moved out to LA, my friend was like, you have to watch Entourage. So I'm like, okay. So I
Oh, it
watched
took you
it.
that long. Wow.
I know. So I watched it though, and now I'm like a huge fan. And I love Ari, which again, like talking about like sexual harassment, like I'm obsessed with Ari Gold.
Hmm.
And he has so many good scenes and lines, but there's like this one where like, there's like an emergency and he calls Lloyd and he wants Lloyd to do something, and Lloyd's like, but who's gonna man the phones, Ari? And he's like, fuck the phones, Lloyd. Unless Carmen Electra calls for an emergency titty fuck, don't answer. And I used to think about that line when like the phones were going crazy at SNY, at the assignment desk and like with the PAs and the interns. And, I would just think about it and just kind of like laugh in my head and like let it go. And then I remember like one time I was walking by, the phones were going crazy, and I said out loud at SNY, fuck the phones, unless Carmen Electra calls for an emergency titty fuck, don't answer. And I like couldn't even believe that I said it once it came out of my mouth. It was too late. You can't push the words back in. But one time I let it fly. I forget who was even there that heard it, but people heard it, and I was like, it is what it is. So whatever. I think they miss me. I'm not really sure. Like legal and HR probably don't miss me, but I think the rest of the people at SNY miss me a little bit.
The guys certainly do.
Probably yes. Yes, I would say that was my similar to my my Instagram following. I tend to be a bigger hit with the men than I do the women. But that was like
don't take it personally. I think any like sexualized comedian has a hard time with the lady audience. I could be wrong about that, but that's what I think.
Yeah. Well, I think it just takes them a while to like warm up to me, Like I very recently had like a friend of mine from high school unfollow me on Instagram, and it was somebody that I liked, and I was like devastated by it. So I texted his friend and I'm like, why the hell did, I won't say his name, why the hell did so and so unfollow me? Like, was it something, because like sometimes I do controversial things. So I was like, was it something I said or did? And he was like, no, but it's probably the new girlfriend. And I often fall victim to that. Like when guy friends of mine or ex, flings or boyfriends of mine get a girlfriend, I am like the first person to be booted out of the social media following.
Well, that's not a good friend, first of all. And second of all, you shouldn't give a shit about this person. Move on, Bri. This is you're on to bigger and better things. You can't be caring about this type of stuff.
It's not like I was like, oh my god, like I'm losing sleep. I was just more like, oh my god, like I like this person, like why did they leave? But then I found out the girlfriend, and I was like, oh, that's understandable, like because they don't know me.
Guy, it's called the mute button. You don't need to unfollow someone. Just throw on the mute button.
So I'm like, it was so hard though. Like I was like, oh, I hate when I lose a friend like that. But yeah, I recently discovered that like my like ex-boyfriend blocked me on LinkedIn. I'm like, what did they think was going to happen on there? Like, I was like sending him nudes on like LinkedIn InMail.
I didn't even know you could block people on LinkedIn.
I know. I was like, what the hell? I mean, and again, like I don't contact people who are in relationships. So I don't know why I was like excommunicated from the LinkedIn following. But sorry, my Venezuelan hair is like getting out of control and it's like distracting me. But yeah, it was like a whole thing. But yeah, man, I miss SNY.
No, you don't. Come on.
No, I do. And because you know what it was? Like, I didn't really appreciate this at the time, but it was like there were obviously like it's sports news, so there was like more men than women there, and I get along well with my bros. So I miss them. I had fun at that job. Like, I really did. I had a lot of fun at that job. I worked with a lot of fun people. I also, get this, like, this is like wet, hot American summer. I helped run the intern program there. I was a molder of young minds. Can you imagine?
So why'd you leave, or why'd they let you go?
They didn't let me go. I left voluntarily because I moved to California. I left SNY to take a job in LA because I wanted to move there. But yeah, like looking back, I'm like, I can't even believe they let me be in charge of like the intern program. Imagine like me being like you walk in and like I'm supposed to be like your beacon, like your guiding light in your career of like journalism. What? No. So, but I was, and some of them, I keep in touch with some of them, and they're doing really well. I'm very proud of them. But that's where like my mother hen, like what's the word for it? Like I was saying before, like Stifler's mom, like Martha Stewart. That's where like my mother hen like trait sort of shines. because it's like I'm sort of like inappropriate and crazy, but then I'm also very like protective and I want the best for them.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So I think if you asked most of them, they would say they had like a pleasant experience with me. Like when they would first get there and we would do orientation, like I would kind of act like a hard ass. Like I'd be like, we have a schedule and you need to do XYZ. And then like, meanwhile they'd be like, hey, can I get off this weekend? I'd be like, sure, like live your life, like enjoy your youth, have a good time. I was terrible. I was not a good rule enforcer. But,
Because I was once a manager of a restaurant called Planet Wings in New York, and I gotta say I'm a great boss. I'm fair yet stern.
Yeah, I could see you being like a good. We also Planet Wings. I feel like that's made up. I feel like that's like the like Pizza Planet from Toy Story. That's not real.
It's a real place. Yeah, it's a New York chain, and we sold wings, wings and burgers and cheesesteaks, and yeah, I was the manager there for 5 years.
That's amazing. I don't yeah, I'm like I probably wouldn't be a good like I yell at my parents for not being like more stern with my siblings or being a disciplinarian, but in reality when I have kids, like I have to marry a tough husband because I know I won't be tough. Like cuz I like to be loved, and I want to be like the cool mom like from from Mean Girls. Remember the mom with the great rack? What's her
Amy
face?
Poehler, yeah.
That's who I want to be. I would never let anybody get hurt on my watch, but also it's like have fun, enjoy yourself. But yeah, man, those were the days. I'm trying to think if there were any other times that I've been like responsible for. Well, I was a nanny, right?
No.
Yep. See, these are the parts of the Bri Hunter persona that people don't know. I was a nanny my freshman year of college, and I was babysitting, and I was like I would go to class in the morning, and then I would at 2:30 I would go pick the kids up, and I would be with them until like 10:30 at night, and I loved it. I loved those kids. I loved the job. I liked taking care of them in the household. So I feel like those are the things.
Did you stay with the family?
What do you? No, no, no. They
Like au
lived
pair?
close. They lived close to my parents, so I didn't like stay overnight. But
By
yeah,
the way, when I'm rich and have a family, it's gonna happen. I'm definitely getting a foreign au pair. Why not?
yeah. You say hot? She has to be hot.
Oh, absolutely.
No, I mean that. Like, I would never allow that in my home.
It's more of a class thing. Classy rich people don't have ugly people in the house. You know that. So of
No,
course
that's not,
I would never
that's
cheat
not
on my
true.
wife.
A smart rich wife, and my friend Candace would tell you, will get the ugliest nanny that money could buy. You think I'm gonna tempt my husband like that? I would never. Are you kidding? No, I want her to
It's to
look
tempt
like.
my clients. The people that come over, they'll be looking at her. But I would have no part of it, of course.
Well, I trust because I know you're a loyal person, but like
I
whatever
am.
like loser I marry, I don't trust. So I'm gonna have to get like some very unattractive nanny. I would never. Oh my god, no, please! Like that's like such a fantasy. The hot nanny, absolutely not. Um, but yeah, that's like the side of me that people probably don't know that I'm like low key. Like I want to be like like Holly homemaker. Which is weird. I don't know how I'm going to balance that with my career, but I do. Like, I want to be like the mom at the PTA meetings. Like, I want to like bake bullshit. I don't know.
You can do both. People do it.
Yeah.
You got to be up for it. It's a lot of time management.
Oh, I'm up for it. I'm up for it. So I don't know, man. But yeah, I feel like I feel
You
like
ever
we're
see
like
Knives Out? By the way,
no, I haven't. I know.
do you know Anna de Armas?
I do. Yeah, she's dating Ben
Beautiful.
Affleck. God
She's
help
the
her.
nanny. She's the nanny in Knives Out, and that would be ideal when I am rich and have a family.
Oh, hell no, bitch. I would never allow that in my home. I mean, I could see how a man would want that, but I would never, I would never.
Like I said, it's a class thing.
It's a class thing, but again, like, why would you tempt? And I almost couldn't even blame my husband or a guy. Like, you're gonna put some, like, hot piece of ass, like, living in your home, like, taking care of your kids. He's almost like biologically wired to want to bone them.
No, that's no excuse. That is no excuse.
I would never put that kind of temptation in front of my... Listen, that's like hiring a hot pool boy. If my husband hired like, you know, like some like attractive, you know, like MMA fighter pool boy, you don't think there's going to be some problems there? Like, oh, there would be some problems, let me tell you.
I don't want to wake up every morning to Angela Lansbury, okay? Nothing wrong with that beautiful lady, but not in my house.
I almost like choked on my whiskey. No, that's exactly what I want. I want, like, remember the lady from 2.5 Men?
Oh, yes.
That's who I want as, like, my nanny.
Rest in peace, by the way. I believe she passed this year.
Well, oh, did she? What a sin.
Yeah.
But also, like, it's also about my kids. Like, when I think of, like, a nanny for my kids, like, I think that they want some, like, overweight, like, big bossomed woman who can, like, who cooks really well and can, like, take them in their arms and, like, nestle them in their boobies. Like...
No, they want a Snow White-esque... you know, caretaker. They don't want 2.5 Men lady. No kid wants that.
Listen, they'll get all the Disney princess they want from their mother. Okay, I have news for you. Like, if I'm gonna train them to be like, who's the fairest one of them all, mommy. Like, that's because I'm a narcissist. So that's what I'm gonna
find a wife that's very cold and distant to my kids.
Well, listen, dude. To each his own. Okay, like and I feel like that's like a good place to end it at. Like, to each his own. Al is gonna hire a hot nanny. I don't know how his future wife is gonna feel about that. I am going to hire the most butch woman on the planet that I can find, because I don't play that game. And I know that my friend Candace would agree with me. We've talked about this before. Mm-hmm. But yeah, is there any parting words you want to say to the audience besides your preference in nannies?
We've been getting a lot of views and listens recently, so if you are watching, make sure to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, and keep watching, keep liking. It really helps.
Yes, absolutely. Our last episode did really well, and I like to mention this too, that YouTube is fairly anonymous, so if for whatever reason, kind of like Instagram, if you don't want to be seen or you're worried about being seen liking the show, on YouTube, we have no idea who likes the show. So you could do it anonymously. You can get an alias and subscribe to us, and we would have no idea, and nobody else would have any idea of who you were. So if for whatever reason you're like a secret fan of Bri Hunter is Fucked, you know, you could still like and subscribe, and nobody would know the difference.
Yeah, you don't want your girl seeing that you're liking Bri's videos. That's cool. Yeah. It's cool with us.
We get it. So it's fine. But yes, please like and subscribe and comment if you're so bold. But until next time, guys, Al and I and the twins send you love. We hope you stay healthy, and we hope that you don't hire a hot nanny. Do what's right for your marriage and hire somebody who's unattractive. But yeah, until next time, guys.
Whoa, Bri Hunter is fucked.